Good morning, Ma. Welcome.
Good morning, Divya, and everybody else.
Yes.
Whoever's listening.
Such a warm welcome to
Good
everyone.
morning and good evening and good afternoon.
Yes, just
Not
no
good
good
night.
night. So we have Achika and Uwe who are joining in, the first
so
two to be here.
sweet.
So how are you both? What are you feeling this early morning? Let us know in the comment section. And everyone else joining in, love you and so happy to have you here. So Ma, what is that one sensation that you connected to in this today's
The
morning?
sensation of imagination and the spaciousness of my mind.
Oh,
That how I
wow.
could go from here anywhere in the world and beyond and into the infinite.
I love
Without
that.
barriers, without obstruction, without barricades,
So Ma, what is the infinite?
The infinite is that the infinite number is 8, and it's a constant movement of the spiritual energies that are constantly traveling with the human body and the human soul, with our passions, our imaginations, our measurable experiences and the immeasurable experiences that we connect to in our spiritual evolution and our physical life pattern. Because remember that we were coming from the egg and the sperm, and that was a very tiny presence. And then the soul collaborates with the 5 senses, and the 5 senses are, of course, our sight, our taste, our sense of smell, hearing, and touching, right? So these create a symphony of association with the soul, which is coming with the man, the buddhi, and the ahankar. The man is the mind, and buddhi is the intellect or the education, the knowledge, the information, the wisdom. And then, of course, is the false ego identification that I am this body. That is the highest form of arrogance that we fluctuate with in devotion and in false ego manifestations of our our spiritual and physical body association. So when we are constantly in tandem with our man, buddhi, ahankar, then we have the ability to connect to our 5 senses. So remember that when the soul is conceptualized,
Yes,
we
Ma.
say, oh, I'm pregnant. So basically, it's the egg and the sperm that have reunited. There's a spiritual explosion. And then there is this willingness of the soul to collaborate in that space of immense darkness, to be able to see, to hear, to smell, to taste, and to touch. The fact that now I have to build my spiritual body. And
Okay.
I have to also build my material body.
So let's just pause there, Ma, for a minute, because this is such an interesting point
Yeah.
that I always just assume that, of course, the soul is the spiritual body that's then collaborating with the mother and the 5 elements to create with the input of the father's energy and the environmental energy to create the physical body. But you just said that we create our spiritual body as well?
Yes, because the spiritual
So-
body is the essential auric nuclear explosion gift from the divine that is empowering us to then really design. Remember that each one of us, we design ourselves in different ways.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
the way we will eventually look, the color of our skin, the color of our eyes, the way we will see colors, black and white, or colors in the universe are not changing, but our eyes can be faulty.
Okay.
Like, sometimes you see, or even on the internet, there are pictures that say that this is a gold and white dress, and somebody sees it as blue and black, right?
Yes, Ma.
And people who are colorblind can see, different colors, and we'll say this is yellow and red, and they'll say it's green and brown.
Yes, Ma.
So our eyes can be faulty in seeing, but the colors in the universe are not changing according to our ability to see and hear and taste and touch. So remember that when we see the color, then we see black and white. But when we taste, how many tastes do you have?
At least 6.
6, yeah.
Yes,
6.
yes, 6 key tastes. So we
Tastes.
have like the bitter, the sour, the chili, the bland,
The salty,
the sweet.
and yeah.
Yes. And then of course now they have something called umami,
Huh.
which I'm sure Umang
And
is
then,
here.
bliss.
That is blissful and something indescribable.
Euphoric and
Yes.
so we are very passionate in our
Flavor
perception,
profiles.
yeah.
Yes.
So now this tongue is tasting, right?
Yes.
But
ma'am.
when you're kissing someone, then what is the tongue doing? It's touching somebody else's intimate body. And what is awakening is there's an arousal in the body, right? It
Yes.
could be sexual, it could be comforting, it could be... So remember that the hands are not the only part of you that touch.
Right.
Your tongue has the
Ability to touch.
to sensualize your emotions and your portals of perception, and that's immeasurable. You can't measure. Everybody has their own individual orgasmic deliverance, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you have to take that all this happens in the womb itself when we are creating our body, when we are designing what kind of hands and what is my purpose going to be. If I'm going to be born to be a surgeon, I need dexterous fingers and long fingers to hold all the instruments and to fine-tune our ability to heal the human body in the operation theatre. So everybody is already knowing what their journey is going to be, and
Yes,
in that journey of life, they are really building some great bodies to be able to deliver. Recently we saw that Special Olympics girl
Yes,
with the
ma'am.
bow and the archer.
Yes,
She
ma'am.
used her mouth and her feet
Yes, ma'am.
to get the gold.
To get the gold, yes.
Yeah, because she didn't have hands. So she had designed her body in such a way that she would use it to get that fame, to show the world that it's not just the physical body that's doing.
Yes,
and there's
ma'am.
something much more immeasurable, that dynamic presence of ourselves that will not curtail us from achieving what we want. And that want is what is driving us to associate with this beautiful body. So we build our eyes to see, but the sight is only not just about colors and flavors and fruits and what we want to drink and what we want to eat. It's also about who are the people we're going to love, what is the nature, what is our ability to instruct ourselves to be kind to this, not get angry, not be fearful, not... So, we are always changing our inner portals of perception. The same way the fragrance is, very comforting for someone, that they are surrounded by, smells that are not so pleasant for other people. So everybody is individually, even perfumes that are created and will, smell different on different bodies. And if we look at our body is going to create an odor which can be pleasant and it can be unpleasant. But you know what creates that odor in our body? It's the heat. When we are very hot, we perspire. And
Yes,
if we are not very careful, then depending on what is the externalization of that fragrance, we may be very comfortable with some smelly sweat, right? It's the other people who are going to be around us that are going to be in some kind of discomfort,
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes people have bad odor even in their mouth.
Yes, even though they do brush their teeth.
And they're very clean and everything, but they still have some airs coming out of their, stomach and some rising of some
maybe
fumes
acidity.
and acidity.
Yes, ma'am.
So depending on what your body is doing, remember that when we are born, we are not capable to move around, but we are still hungry and we are still thirsty.
Yes, ma'am.
So if that hunger and thirst is not quenched, the body will perish.
Absolutely.
And what is that food that we eat? Our body is designed to synthesize it and make it compatible for us to digest and get the energies and store those energies in different parts of our body, which becomes spiritualized. Isn't
Yes,
that
ma'am.
what you were saying? That
Yes, that's the
what
whole
is
journey.
that?
For those who are joining in, the whole journey was that Ma was talking about the beginning of our touching and experiencing the infinite through the creation of, yes, our material body in the womb of our mother, but also our spiritual body. So that's what we've been discussing with the flavors, the taste, the elements, and the infinite within the moment or the seed of germination of not only our physical body self, but our aura self that is being co-created with the soul and the mother and the elements. So it's just so vast.
Yeah, it's very much.
And so how do we center it or focus it, Ma, to understand the infinite as a concept, or is it just unfathomable?
You know, when I look into people's aura,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I see the figure 8, and the crossing of the figure 8, that cross is right at the center of your navel.
Okay.
And one big round circle of the 8 is covering your crown chakra to your navel, and then the other one is from your feet soles to your navel.
Okay.
So, you know, when we talk about kosher, the Jews, they don't eat the second part of the body, right?
Yes,
They
ma'am.
will, it's very kosher, so they're
Kosher
only,
or even halal
Halal,
meat, like
yeah.
for in the Islamic tradition.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So then the point is that this figure of 8, the upper chakras, are always in symphony, in sound, in magic. Remember, our senses of taste and smell and hearing and sight are also in the upper part of the body.
Yes,
And our
ma'am.
hands are also in the upper part of our body that are touching the truth, touching, and we are cooking and we are creating different flavors, different tastes. We are buying different things, we are bringing them home. Of course, our feet are carrying us to the shop and we are coming back with all the goodies. But the reality is that what is it that's driving us to do things? It's our own pleasure center that has to be sustained and satisfied. But at the same time, it's our hunger and thirst, right?
Yes.
So we are always, even an animal will move on its feet when it's hungry and it's looking for food.
Absolutely.
And the
ma'am,
human being is
absolutely.
also going to the kitchen or, you know, of course.
So are you then saying that whether it's our material nature or our spiritual nature, it is always guided by this infinite quest and an infinite search
Passion,
and an
actually.
infinite passion
For living well.
for living well, whether
Upgrading
it's
ourselves.
upgrading ourselves. So then what role does destiny play or karma play in this search, in this quest, or in this impassioned seeking and finding and touching and becoming one with the infinite?
You know, the other day we were talking about Kismat and Karma, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then we were saying that how people confuse the two. So you know, had a long discussion, Divya and I had. I think there were some other healers also recently where we discussed the same thing.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
Kismat is what you have put in the locker.
Okay.
All your auspicious goodness, and it's all only always positive. Our karma that we bring down along with our mana, buddhi, ahankar, we also have a karmic kumbh, that pot of karmic consequences that we have designed for ourselves from our Akashic records and from our book of karma. We've read, we've designed our life, we've brought ourselves down here, and we have built that body that is going to give us the instruments. Our body is the instrument that's going to work towards, you know, digestion, indigestion, intellect, and knowledge, and how we're going to assimilate our education, and how we're going to learn through our eyes, our ears, our nose, our mouth, and our hands, the truth of this material nature.
Yes, ma'am.
And so the point is that we are all moving with our karmic consequences. That's why I always tell people that when you come to a healing seminar, you are not only getting healed and having the ability to heal your negative karma, but you're also getting the key
To unlock your
unlock
Kismet.
your Kismet, which is, in English we can call it spiritual, powerful, material destiny.
Yes.
That is going to overflow as a waterfall of good fortune and continue to, expand your human enterprise and fulfill you and be very loyal to you, because it's all positive. So
Yes,
when
ma'am.
you work with those energies and you download your height of auspiciousness, then everything good is happening in your life. And when you are walking through the karma that you are creating one day at a time, and sometimes that's why we say that do good actions, speak good words, have good thoughts, because those are part of the immeasurable patterns of our physical body that can expand into the spiritual, pick up the spiritual and make everything spiritualized in the here and now. And spiritual means to find goodness. And goodness is individual again. I could love to have beautiful cakes and pastries, right? Somebody
Yes, ma'am.
else would love samosa and matti, or some savory
Yes.
treats. And somebody could just want something very bland.
So then destiny is the Kismet
Kismet.
that we, with our own free agency and effort,
Yes,
and our
and-
seeking and our searching with the passion of the light, will activate it and download it. So
Yeah.
before we get to that understanding that our destiny is to eventually be one with the infinite, that's such a beautiful meditative statement, that before we even get there, what is the free will, agency, impassion, searching and seeking actions that you would recommend for each and every one of us to do, to activate, and to make part of our day-to-day life, so that our destiny lockers are fully being opened and accessed by us?
Yeah, but you also have to understand one thing very clearly.
Yes, ma'am.
That everybody's locker doesn't have the same amount of material wealth
Oh,
or spiritual wealth
that's
or
interesting.
financial wealth. Supposing that
So it's not infinite for each
No,
of us.
no, no.
That's such a great clarification. So then how do we know what's in our locker?
Yeah, we don't know. You just have to understand it very, very distinctly. I'll give you an example.
Yes, ma'am.
That a couple recently came to see me who they were married and they had one child, and now the husband had Kismet of say $1 million, and the wife had the Kismet of $100 million, and the child had the Kismet of only 1,000 rupees. And they are all in the same family.
Oh, wow.
So now, who's going to get that 100 million? It's the wife. So she's going to earn, she's going to create, she's going to... But what will happen to the husband and the child? Tell me.
I don't know.
So the
would
husband, the day he gets the first million and that's his, he leaves.
Oh,
Yeah. So he can either divorce and leave and, spend his 1 million living the rest of his life and then go back to the abode of the divine. But this person who's downloaded 100 million, right?
yes, ma'am.
And the daughter only has 1,000, right? So what happens? New people who are part of that billionaire,
Yes, ma'am.
actualization in their destiny, in their Kismet, will show up in this person's life. And the daughter will then become the inimical soul who is going to fight with the mother and say, you left my father, you this, that. So she's going to disband herself from that group, and the group will be recreated by other souls coming. So now she's living in with this new man who's also got like $5-6 billion dollar Kismet, and so he's enjoying, he's also downloading, she's also got, and they're having a great life together. This is the best way I can explain it.
So yeah, that
It's
is
very
something
scary,
very
right?
not just scary. I think it's very what is the right word? I want to say freeing. I don't know if everyone in the collective listening will agree with me, because it's freeing to understand that what the daughter, if she could understand this, then she would be free from wanting to blame her mother, is what I mean by that.
Then she could stay with the mother and enjoy
the billion.
Because it's like having a nice association.
So the situation you're describing, yes, is scary, but the knowledge you're giving us, Ma, is very freeing. It's freeing from that idea of blaming.
So somebody may have, wealth in their family, and then it could just get locked up in a court case, right? So the mother could leave the daughter the billion, but maybe the government will say she didn't pay taxes, so we're going to freeze her bank accounts, and then you have to fight and fight and fight, and the child will just get a little portion of the wealth and will also leave the planet. And if she has kids, and then they may stand to inherit that Kismet, that valuable billions that the grandmother had built.
So, Ma, I've been just resonating with this statement of rooting into our Kismet connections. So, is that enhanced when we are healing, or do we have to do something physically in our material realm to be able to collaborate with the healing light to activate these Kismet connections?
So that's what I'm saying, that the soul in the womb is always working to spiritualize the aura. Many times I see pregnant women, and they come and they, want to heal their child in the womb, and sometimes I tell them that, the child is so magnificent, is so brilliant, their auras are so large, so much bigger than the mother's aura, that the child is saying, I'm not going to be born into this Kismet connection till your Kismet is downloaded fully. So go for a healing take and, heal the negative vibrations of negative karmic consequences, and send them out into the universe by doing some good actions, so that I am born into a worthy pattern of a family where the Kismet has been downloaded before the child appears. That's why in Vedic injunctions it's always written that the child is coming with his own Kismet. Not karma.
Not karma. So I think Chavi is asking a very interesting question, which I think is indicating to me that we need to clarify for the group, because she says that can these complicated Kismet be healed? So Kismet is not complicated. Kismet is always positive. It's very pure. It's the karma that the daughter is doing of blame, the karma that the father is doing of his actions of disgust.
That how is she so wealthy, and it's the family funds, or maybe the wife is saying, this is my money. And so he's getting very troubled by that. So that is our ego complicates. Exactly.
It's the Kismet is actually very beautiful. Like just what ma'am said, that in Vedic injunction, in Indian homes, we do say na ki bacha apni Kismet leke aayega. Not karma. The karma we are all getting and we are creating in every moment. But the Kismet is the positive and is the bountiful and is the pure. And so we have Suman Sinha, Soul Star. She asks, how do we know how much we have in our Kismet lockers? Can our current life path give us a hint, give us any clue?
Yes, it can give us a hint that you stay away from fear and anger. And that is the teaching of all gurus, that don't be fearful and don't be angry, because that is the biggest way to put the barricades in your path of deliverance of the good fortune. And as your life will indicate that, this is a good relationship, and then you think, oh, that friendship was so good, they even helped me to get a business, and if I had given a share of profit to them, then the business would have continued forever and ever. But because we get greedy and our false ego comes and says, I'm doing the work, what did he do? Why should I give him as part of my percentage profit? Then you are shutting down your own Kismet.
Yes.
And you may do good actions, and then you may come to a healer, and you may get connected to becoming a healer, and then you start healing your karmic barricades and obstructions and ambushing or putting bomb blasts in your own life. Every anger and fear episode is a bomb blast where you're just destroying everything in your life. I recently had somebody who was saying that, my son got so angry that he broke the TV, he broke the computer, he threw the phone out of the balcony from the 17th floor, and he destroyed basically everything. And she said, now I don't have the money to buy and replace all those things. So, in karmic consequences, your body and your mind and your environment is telling you that change this and good fortune is going to flow into your life. So how do you make that connection is by understanding that I have to be a truthful, loving being, very aware and conscious of what I'm doing and how I'm taking the ability of my soul, which has helped me to create this body. My soul is very, very intelligent, it's immeasurable, it's very disciplined, but my body is not disciplined. So when the soul and the body are not in sync as those two wheels of, actualizing our highest potential, we are always going to be shortchanging ourselves. So be happy with your environment and be happy with whatever is your destiny. And I'm reminded of a story of the 5 elements. I'm sure I've said this story many times, but it's just come up in my head, so I'm going to share it. That once there was a Brahmin and his wife who were very, very expectant of wanting to, give birth to a child and fulfill their spiritual mission of leaving a spiritually awakened soul in this world. So the Panditji was standing on the banks of the Ganga with his hands like this in the Anjali, and he had Ganga Jal in it, and he was saying, God, give me a child, and give us a child. And then there was an eagle that had a live little rat in its claws and was flying, and then somehow the rat
wiggled its way
out of those clutches and fell into the hands of this Brahmin. And suddenly there was a splash, and he looked, and there was this very dazed, rat in his hands. So he saw that as a gift of the divine, and with his abilities of, creating new body, he transformed that body
of the
into a
rat.
baby girl.
Oh, wow.
And he was very excited, and he took her home, and then the wife was very fulfilled, and they were so thankful to the divine in many years past. And now this girl was of marriageable age. So the father was saying that I need to find a very nice groom. So he went, to ask the elders in the family and how should we matchmake. And then somebody suggested that the son is looking for a bride. So why don't you approach the son? So he said, before I approach the son, let me ask my daughter. So when he asked the daughter, she said, no, the son is too hot. I'm not going to marry the son. Look for somebody better. So then they went, and there was much discussion. Then how can you reduce the heat of the sun? So somebody said, this very water-laden cloud, if it passes in front of the sun's light, then the sun's light will reduce. So maybe the cloud is bigger and more authentic husband material. So they went back to the girl and they said, that Mr. Cloud has appeared, and now we would like you to be married to him. So she said, my God, so wet, so heavy, so, moist, and I'm feeling repulsed by the gray cloud, color and everything. No, you have to find somebody superior than even the cloud. So then there were discussions, and then they found that the only thing that can move the cloud is air. So they went to her very excited, Mr. Air is here. He can move the clouds, so now you can marry Mr. Air. So she said, no, the air makes such howling noises and creates so many storms when none exist, and is so, irresponsible, and is terrifying people, and is so vast that even if I want to hug the air, it will escape my embrace. So no, this is very bad choice. So now the entire family was in meditation and they were thinking, what is stronger than the air? So they found a mountain that the air could not move. So then they started to tell her that, this majestic mountain, come, let's see, meet him. So she goes and she looks at the mountain and says, so big, so brown, so dense, so heavy, and doesn't even have arms to embrace me back. And then her eyes fell on this Mr. Rat who was making a burrow of space inside, tunneling inside the body of the mountain. So she said, that is the most majestic person that I see, who has so much power to create space when none existed before. So then her father thinks, and then, they transform her back into Mrs. Rat and Mr. Rat, and they get them married and they live happily ever after. So I'm saying that the soul's journey is also about collaborating in that space, in this big mountain, which is your mother. You're in a seed form and you're growing your body with the help of all the elements, and you're taking birth to create, and space has been created in the material universe for you to appear and to begin your journey and to fulfill your destiny, which is your Kismet, to download it and take advantage of whatever is in that locker and live a wonderful life which is spiritually enhanced. Remember that the gifts in the locker are material, they are spiritual, they are financial, they are emotional, they are even for your mental well-being. They are always flowing down, and I always call it like the 7 waterfalls. So there is purpose and generosity in the red waterfall, which is enhancing our body, giving it strength. Then is the orange waterfall, which gives us a creative impulse, and it enters that part of our body where life is created, the reproductive system is active, where we are creating even our businesses, our work, our environment, how much education we're going to get. And then at the navel is that white light which is going to harness, and when nuclear explosions happen, remember that we were connected with through our navel with the placenta, which was attached to the inner wall of the uterus, where we were getting the sustenance of the 5 elements into our domain, so that we could build our body and we could design it. And then, of course, is the yellow ray of light, which is giving us the ability to digest and harness the fire element. So at the root is the earth element, at the hara is the water element, at the solar plexus is the fire element, at the heart is the air element, the breath, the pulsation or the symptom of life. And then at the throat is the space, the infinite space of the sky, that we can achieve everything that we want. And then, of course, is the symphony of goodness and collaborative oneness, and the navel and the crown start to work, and the third eye gives the orders to create and to move this body. It is our third eye chakra that's helping us to, when we are eating the food, it's helping us to digest, it's getting enough water, enough sun prana into our body. The fire of digestion is activated. We don't have to tell our body, now digest this apple, now digest this bread, the body knows how to digest everything individually and collectively. So what we see, we have to digest. What we hear, we have to digest. What we smell, we have to digest. And what we talk and what we use our tongue for, even the touching, like I explained earlier, is the flavors of life.
Absolutely.
That you are going to, digest. You eat a mango, you're also touching the body of the mango, and then you are inviting that sweetness, that astringent, that salty flavor. And maybe sometimes the mango can also be bland, tasteless, depending on how much is your ability to differentiate the different tastes.
Yes.
Is going to be individual.
I love that, Mom. So there are actually a lot of questions that we have, and I'm just resonating with the story that also like attracts like. That what is your ultimate tattva, that your inner essence, that is what is going to unlock your destiny. And so if you were the rat who then became the baby girl, ultimately you are going to go back to
being Miss Rat.
Mrs. Rat. Yeah. And that's also a beautiful thing, because in that journey you have different experiences, but ultimately you come to a space of the infinite connection of your truth and your essence.
And the loop of number 8,
infinite keeps going. So I think that we have many questions that are similar. So we have Madhvi and Simran and a few others who are wanting to explore this Kismat Karma connection. And so Simran asks that, Ma, what's the difference between Kismet and Karma, and do we have the ability to change either? I think that's been the whole discourse. That
Kismet you can't change. It's already put in the locker. You've locked it, and you come with the karmic consequences that when I will do this healing, when I will do this much of my
good work,
good association with my Kismet will help me to download,
or if I walk these many steps, or I have these many meetings, then the 107th meeting is when I will download my good fortune Kismet of having a 100 crore company. But if you stop at just 50 meetings, it's not that your Kismet is bad. So I think you need to understand that the Kismet can never be bad. It is always good, but it is your karma that is complete or incomplete that will give you the access and the download to that destiny of Kismet.
And remember that karma is birthed by our desire. So if you have a desire, then there's willing and thought and planning. Then you put that into words. Then you put that into actions. Then you go out and do, like Divya just said, you arrange a meeting. You discuss business, you maybe create some designs, some concepts, some digital marketing or whatever, or startup strategies. And all that, you're using your intellect, you're using your abilities of consciousness and downloading from the cosmic internet, whatever it is, that intelligence that you need to create, whether you're an artist, whether you're a musician, whether you're a dancer, whether you're a doctor, whatever it is that you're doing, you're going to do it at the optimum best. And then there are others who are going to just procrastinate, or just going to sit there and say, I have great karma, and somebody else is going to do the work. No. You have to do. When you get up and you really do, then even a 12-year-old child can, win an award and get a scholarship and have his entire education paid by the government or the universities and all. So those are moments of spiritual intervention where you are given the password to that locker and all the wealth floods in.
But you still have to take the key and the password and make that effort to fill it in or turn the key. That you have to do. So I think that is really, crystal clear. And then, of course, we have Sharon and Charu who go to the point of blame and ego and ask that, Ma, how can one remember when ego tempts us to blame? It's ingratitude that is actually tempting you to blame.
Not your bad karmas or somebody else's fault. We cannot give power of attorney to other people to control our inner condition. We have to be very, very sure that I'm a worthy being, I'm the son or daughter of the divine, and I had the ability to create my body in symphony with the 5 elements, and the 5 elements are always going to be my friends, because they know that whatever energy they've given, I multiplied it manyfold, and I'm going to leave it behind for them. I'm not taking it back to the other universe.
Yes, and it's so interesting that I think a lot of people are paraphrasing or translating colloquial phrases about Kismet, and so I think this is a great opportunity to clarify that we have Achika who's saying that is it that depending on our actions we build or destroy the Kismet. She's translating the phrase that apni Kismet mat bigado, but that is actually not true. Again, one will repeat for the benefit of all that Kismet can never be bad. It's through your actions that you access or you don't access your Kismet. That's it. It's as simple as that. And then we have lovely Madhvi, who asks a twofold question, but I think the answer to your first question, Madhvi, will answer the second. So I'll read both. She asked that, is Kismet and Niyati the same thing? And then in accordance to that, she says that, is Kismet same as Niyati, and can we change or delay our destiny? So yes, I'm sure if you Google or, translations, people do say Niyati is fate, they say it's destiny, they say it's good or bad. But Niyati and Kismet are not at all the same. Niyati is not really destiny. It is your self-restraint.
Niyam.
And your niyam, because it comes from the ni dhatu. So it also, the same root dhatu gives us niyam, like Ma says. It gives us nyay. And what is that niyam or nyay? Is your ability to basically follow a rule
and regulation.
And so Niyati is invariably, in a dharmic tradition, always associated with your religious obligations. And so that is not Kismet, not spiritual. So it is not Kismet. That's religious. That action. That did you follow the nyay, or are you doing your niyati, that if you are a Hindu, are you getting up in the morning, are you lighting a diya? Even the healing niyam. So that is a niyam, that is not Kismet.
If you are connected, somebody told me, I've done Reiki 24 years ago and, nothing's changed in my life. So I told them that, look at yourself like a house. The guru or whoever was the initiator of your connection to Reiki gave you the electricity connection, gave you the water connection, put the wires, put the bulbs, put the fans, put the taps in the sink, in the kitchen, in the bathroom, and even got you an MCD connection, water connection, and electricity connection. And that's, what the guru did to initiate you. But you never turned on the lights and you never turned on the tap. So you're in darkness and you are very thirsty. So, there is niyam
that can assist you in your journey towards downloading and accessing the Kismet. But the niyam or the niyati is not going to change and alter the Kismet.
The Kismet is already very positive. And very, very happily downloading.
Available and also downloading. And so I think Anita asks a related question. So she says, Ma, so if we heal and act in goodness to find solutions and work towards unblocking our Kismet, is that what is happening?
Yeah, but supposing if you're in a divorce situation and you're thinking that, I'm deserving of 10 crores and my husband has 100 crores, then you must give me that 10 crores, right? But the reality may be that you have to get 50 crores, but not from him, from someone else. So this divorce case will continue till you are exiting this body, and somebody else will come and, they will touch your life with all the opulence and everything. And you have accessed your Kismet through them and not through this person that you're married to. So depending on soul groups, soul associations, soul patterns, birds of a feather flock together, souls of a particular Kismet also flock together to download and assist each other in that abundance. So even, if you look at your spiritual anchor, which is with your teacher, with your guru, even that is part of your Kismet. It's not your karma. But karma is giving you
the opportunity
to step into that room, open the door for you to step in. What you take away from that is going to be your ability to follow through, to do the niyam.
So then, Ma, is it that actually our free will is our greatest support system
and our greatest enemy?
And our greatest enemy. Wow. So I think I'm also resonating with what Parshvati is saying. She says, mind-boggling. What a deep and life-changing discussion. In complete and total awe and gratitude to you, Master, and Divya. Grateful. We love you. And so we have Suma Sinha who asks again that how do we know which souls are our soul group who will help us attain our Kismet? The thing is that your soul group is the people that you've surrounded yourself with.
Yeah,
And that are in your
may
life.
Have, been shortchanging yourself
all this while, yeah. And so you can actually never be completely sure whether they are helping you attain your Kismet or they are blocking your Kismet. If you go back to the story of the father, the wife, and the daughter. So it's all three of them are playing their free will dance
of karma. Not Kismet.
Not Kismet. Absolutely. Wow. Taking a pause to just absorb.
Karma has a reaction.
Yes, it is. Karma is filled with consequences. Action and reaction.
That's why we say do good karma. Good actions, good words. Even if you don't have anything nice to say, zip your lips. Don't say anything. That can save you 1,000 ships sailing
into war zones.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And people say, oh, it was just a spontaneous remark that created such a storm and I didn't really want to fight.
Or I didn't mean to say that. Sometimes,
I didn't even want to say it. It's not even in my consciousness. Zehen. Zehen is a silent intelligence that is, allowing your five senses to be independent and do things that they did.
Yeah.
That, you may think that you don't want to do. So it's, I'm wearing blue. Divya is also wearing blue. And we both chose blue today. Spontaneously.
Absolutely.
But somebody else could say that, I don't like blue. But you can't say I don't like blue. It's just that today you're not liking blue.
Or you're not resonating with it. It's not your choice. It's your free will to wear another color and to interact with another color. Yeah. And so I think, Ma, I'm going to highlight as we're like rushing into the last 10 minutes of this beautiful Sunday collective. I'm always amazed at how quickly it goes by with you and all your knowledge that you share with us. So we have Mamta and Sharon who are both, I think, resonating with their statements of a little bit of helplessness. So Mamta says that request for blessing so I can heal more and more and align at karmic lack with the destiny. Don't be so inactive. You are very active. You are all making choices. There's no karmic lack and there is no lack of your destiny. Both are equally there. What are you doing? You need to activate your root chakra. I think root chakra healing is really important so that you can activate the goodness and actual actions. And Sharon is resonating with the blame game that other people's karma are influencing your karmic destiny. Yes, there is a network of the entire planet and all beings, even your TV, your phone, your chair has a karmic action and reaction to your reality, as do you influence that. But your free will to either interact with the chair or not interact with the chair is totally yours. So apply that even to your relationships. It's your decision to interact with those soul groups.
And there was once a Guruji who took on very few students. And so there's one very enthusiastic soul went to him and said that, Guruji, I want to be initiated. I want to learn from you and, I really want to be your disciple. So Guruji said, okay, come tomorrow morning on the banks of the river and I'm going to, definitely give you some association. So the student was very excited and, he went and then the Guruji said that let's go and have a bath in the river. So he said he was very excited that, he was going to have a water purification as the sun was rising on the land and the breeze was blowing and all the elements were witness to the great moment. And the Guruji went into the water and he dunked his head underwater. And now Guruji was not just letting go of him underwater and he was finding it more and more difficult to even scream or, find the strength to push his head out of the water. And so he was struggling and he just thought his life was ebbing out when Guruji let go of him and he came up gasping for air. And he said, you almost killed me. So Guruji said that what happened? So he said, I was really needing air to live. So Guruji said that, did you experience? He said, yes, I experienced. I was so desperate. So Guruji said that when you are as desperate as that for the knowledge, then come back to me.
I love it's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the thing is that if you really want your Kismet to download, then just keep doing the Abhyas. Follow the niyam.
Yes.
Keep that in your zehen. And Kismet will flow down.
Yeah.
And you'll do the right actions in the right moment to be deserving of everything that you have in the locker. Everybody has great destiny. Nobody has insufficient. There's no insufficiency in the divine abode. The divine is, our parent, and is willing to give us whatever we need and seek for living a great life. So we have to just keep touching that chord of truthfulness and that consciousness and awareness that I cannot procrastinate. I have to work. I have to do my, right actions, and things will change. Nothing is forever. So go into that, and I always say that chanting Om purifies, or Amen or Amin, whichever
tradition you're
in. Find that one word that you can,
resonate with.
Yesterday I was talking to Gurinda, and I was telling him that he should chant Vaheguru, Satnam Vaheguru. And he said he does that all the time, and it's constantly in his consciousness, even when he's eating, even when he's working. It's like a second sound in his consciousness. And I told him that if he continues, very soon he is going to be very liberated from wanting, because he will have so much that he'll be in the pattern of giving forward. And remember that when we are in the womb of the mother, we are actually begging.
What are we begging for?
We are begging the 5 elements for support.
Oh, yes.
Give me, I want a little bit of air, I want a little bit of sun, I want a little bit of earth, I want a little bit of water, and I want to create this space in my body. I want the body to be designed like this. I want my lips to be sexy, I want my nose to be very streamlined. And of course now the plastic surgeons are doing lots of things to enhance your breasts or reduce them or whatever. I find so many people wanting to change, and I always smile, because instead of fixing the way they look, they really need to be downloading their Kismet and be grateful for this body the way it is. But we are all saying, give me more, give me, because that is the consciousness of material nature. I want, give me. Isn't that the mantra that all of you chant all the time?
Yes, Ma, absolutely.
Yeah, so it started in the womb. So that is something that we can change with healing. That you have to be in the act of giving and doing.
And also we have to be willing to connect to that healing, connect to that new mantra, new sound of gratitude and the divine, and our wanting, is that, or our desire rather, to want to do the work and want to move forward and want to take that step towards downloading our Kismet.
Yeah, and you have to always live in the consciousness. So many people are agnostic. They say we don't believe in another life, and
everything is
here. So I tell them that, okay, if everything is here, live it well.
Absolutely.
So that when you die, you are going to give the 5 elements back, whatever you took.
Absolutely.
And maybe spiritualized. And then the other part of it is that supposing you die and you do find that there's another life or another zone or another world where you have to live, you will be empowered, because you will have worked in this life, and it'll be so easy to work in that life.
So if I'm to summarize, Ma, then it is that we have to be rooted in gratitude, doing actions of goodness in completion.
Yeah.
We have to complete these actions of goodness, and then we are absolutely free, blame-free, disease-free, and free of disgust.
And free of fear and free of anger. And the final thing is that, the minute we come out of our mother's womb, we are gasping for air and we are hungry.
Yes, Ma.
So hunger and thirst are how to convert those. Not to have havas. Havas is like so much passion for just acquiring
Gluttony,
things.
yeah, not to be gluttonous.
To just be very sublimely dipping into the nectar of devotion and nectar of instruction. And the instruction is to find the divine, and devotion is to work for the divine.
I love it, Ma. So perfectly and aptly put. I absolutely am certain that each and every soul listening to this will implement it and will be inspired.
And I'm sending healing for all your kismets to open and the download to begin. And astrologically, it's a good time.
Exactly. This is, I think, so perfect just before Diwali, and staying in this consciousness. And could we, Ma, chant a mantra or a sound just for global welfare, and that all the positive kismet for all people everywhere on Mother Earth be downloaded?
They can chant Amen,
Amen,
Ameen,
yes,
or Om.
Om.
That's it.
So I think take 2 minutes or 5 minutes after we end this session
and chant
that quietly.
Love you all. Stay well, stay healing. See you next Sunday. Bye-bye.